Why surviving prehistoric Australia was a never-ending nightmare. When talking about Australia, most people think of dangerous animals, lethal snakes that would kill you in one bite, sharks lurking in every corner of the water waiting for their next prey, spiders in the least expected places, jellyfish with stings so lethal that just getting into the water could kill you, and many other things. While Australia has the reputation for having hazardous animals, its wildlife today is harmless compared to animals in the past. And we're not referring to the enormous diversity of dinosaurs that walked this extensive territory. To find hazardous animals in Australia, you don't have to go back that far in time. You only have to go back 50,000 years to find creatures worthy of a horror movie. From lizards that could devour a human without problems to gigantic snakes. The territory of what is now Australia was full of animals that are fortunately already extinct today. But what were these animals like? What was it like to live with them? And more importantly, how did humans survive these dangerous creatures? If you want to know the answer to all those questions, don't miss this video. Australia has always been home to many reptiles, including snakes. These animals are still present in the territory, but 50,000 years ago, there were animals that today would make us tremble just by seeing them. One of them was the giant snake known as Wanambi. Wanambi, a silent titan. The Wanambi, a giant snake that inhabited Australia during the Pleistocene, belongs to the extinct family Madswati. This genus of primitive snakes once thrived on several continents. Although it became extinct approximately 50,000 years ago, its impact on the ecosystem was notable. Although it has no direct living relatives, the Wanambi shared certain similarities with modern constrictor snakes such as boas and pythons. Like them, the Wanambi did not possess poison, but it used its immense strength to kill its prey by constriction. However, it was significantly more extensive and robust than any modern snake. The Wanambi could reach 19 to 22 feet, and some specimens could have weighed up to 440 pounds. Its body was thick and muscular, adapted to wrap and suffocate large prey. Although it lacked venomous fangs, its mouth was filled with curved teeth that helped to hold its victims as it strangled them firmly. This giant snake specialized in hunting animals of the Australian megafauna. It feeds on giant kangaroos, Diprotodons, and other medium-sized to large marsupials. The Wanambi was an ambushing predator. It lurked near bodies of water, dense thickets, or places where prey frequently passed, attacking them quickly and accurately. This is similar to what modern anacondas do, with the difference that the Wanambi had significantly superior strength. It could not only suffocate its prey but even break their bones. To the first humans to arrive in Australia, the Wanambi posed a stealthy but lethal threat. With no venom or roars, this snake depended on its ability to ambush, which meant an encounter with it was completely unexpected. Humans who roamed areas where the Wanambi lurked, such as rivers and bushes, were at high risk of being attacked. Once caught, any victim would have had little chance of escaping. Interestingly, the Wanambi's jaw was smaller than that of modern large constrictor snakes, so it couldn't completely swallow prey, which anacondas and boas do. However, that characteristic caused it to develop an even more horrific technique for eating their prey. With its immense jaw, it broke the bones of its prey and even disemboweled them. This, accompanied by a small jaw but with enormous strength, allowed them to tear pieces of their victims and eat them in pieces. Without a doubt, it would have been one of the most horrible ways to die. This serpentine colossus underscores the dangerous environment that early humans faced on a continent of specialized predators and large megafauna. But the Wanambi wasn't the only reptile that threatened our ancestors 50,000 years ago. There was a crocodile that was also to be feared. Hang on a sec, if you are enjoying this video, we invite you to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future videos. Leave your like and share this video with your friends. Quinkana, the king of crocodiles. The Quinkana is an extinct genus of land crocodiles that inhabited Australia approximately 50 to 40,000 years ago during the Pleistocene. It belongs to the Crocodilidae family, but what distinguishes it from modern crocodiles is its adaptation to terrestrial life, which makes it a large predator. This considerable crocodile was significantly different from the aquatic crocodiles we know today. Instead of legs adapted for swimming, it had more robust limbs, ideal for terrestrial locomotion. That is, it was a crocodile that could run. Their jaws were longer and narrower, with large, sharp teeth designed to cut and tear flesh, rather than the tapered teeth used to hold underwater prey that today's crocodiles have. This crocodile could reach up to 19 feet in length and weigh approximately 1,100 pounds to 2,200 pounds, depending on the species and age of the individual. Its size, strength, and speed on land made it an extremely dangerous predator. The Quinkana hunted mainly large terrestrial Australian megafauna animals, such as giant kangaroos, Diprotodons, and humans. Because it was so fast, very few prey escaped from this giant crocodile when it was hungry. Can you imagine being face to face with this animal? Do you think you could escape? The Quinkana posed a mortal danger to humans who were just beginning to settle in Australia 50,000 years ago. Its predatory behavior and ability to move quickly over land made it a constant threat to hunter-gatherer groups. Without access to advanced weapons, early humans were vulnerable to surprise attacks while gathering food or moving through the territory. Their ability to ambush their prey and massive size would have made it nearly impossible to escape an encounter. The Quinkana challenged human survival and symbolized the unique dangers of an ecosystem dominated by predators of Australian terrestrial megafauna. However, the Quinkana was not the only dangerous animal. In ancient Australia, another animal was best not to come across, as an encounter could mean death. This animal is the Varunus priscus, a giant lizard. Megalania, or Varunus priscus, was a gigantic monitor lizard that inhabited Australia between 50,000 and 20,000 years ago. It belongs to the Varunidae family, which includes modern monitor lizards such as the Komodo dragon. This kinship links it to one of the most fearsome and efficient groups of lizards in the animal kingdom, famous for their hunting capacity and aggressiveness. This considerable lizard shared several characteristics with its present-day relatives, especially the Komodo dragon. Like them, it possessed a sturdy, elongated body, strong legs with sharp claws, and a powerful jaw equipped with serrated teeth. In addition, because they were kin to modern monitor lizards, it is possible that their saliva had toxic or bacterial properties that weaken their prey. Megalania was the largest known land lizard in history. It could reach up to 22 feet in length and weigh between 1,322 to 2,200 pounds, depending on estimates. Its muscular body was designed to ambush and subdue large prey, while its thick skin protected it from attack. This predatory reptile mainly hunted the large animals of the Australian megafauna, such as giant kangaroos, Diprotodons, and other herbivores of considerable size. However, it did not limit itself to these prey and occasionally attacked smaller animals, including marsupials, birds, and unfortunate hominins that crossed its path. For the humans who inhabited Australia, Megalania was a formidable threat. Its massive size and strength made it nearly impossible when it lashed out in a direct attack. Furthermore, despite its size and ambush nature, its ability to move quickly allowed it to attack without warning. A characteristic of Megalania, the researchers determined that it had hunting habits similar to the dragons of Commodus due to its kinship. So it is likely that this predator will also be trying to bite its prey in the first attack. Thus, if the Megalania fails to catch its prey in an ambush, its poisonous saliva, which contains anticoagulant bacteria, will prevent the wound caused by the bite from closing as quickly. Even if the prey manages to escape, it will eventually bleed to death. An encounter with Megalania would have been deadly, as early humans' rudimentary tools would have been insufficient to defend against this giant reptile. The presence of Megalania in the prehistoric landscape underscores the unique challenges early human settlers faced on a continent dominated by colossal and lethal predators. But if you thought only reptiles were dangerous, you are wrong. Mammals were not far behind. This also represented a danger to our ancestors, who tried to avoid a creature like a lion that hunted them mercilessly. Thylacoleo, the marsupial lion. Thylacoleo carnifex, commonly known as the marsupial lion, was one of the most formidable predators of Australia's megafauna. This mammal belongs to the extinct family Thylacoleanidae, a group of carnivorous marsupials unique to Australia. It inhabited the continent from the Pleistocene until approximately 40,000 years ago, coinciding with the arrival of humans. Although it has no exact equivalent in today's fauna, Thylacoleo shares certain ecological similarities with modern big cats, such as lions and tigers. Like them, it was an agile and powerful predator designed to hunt large animals. However, as a marsupial, it was more closely related to numbats and koalas than modern carnivores. The Thylacoleo measured about 3.2 feet in length and weighed between 220 and 286 pounds. Despite its relatively compact size, it was an extraordinarily efficient predator. It had powerful forelimbs with retractable claws, a rarity among marsupials. Its front teeth were large and sharp, adapted to tear meat and crush bones, making it unique among carnivorous mammals. This predator mainly hunted large herbivores of the Australian megafauna, such as the Diprotodons, giant kangaroos, and other marsupials. It was an ambush hunter who used its strength and speed to take down its prey. It could have also been an occasional scavenger, taking advantage of carcasses left behind by other predators. For early humans, Thylacoleo was a mortal danger. Its ability to move stealthily and ambush made it a constant threat. Although humans would have been armed with rudimentary tools, these would not have been enough to defend against the attack of a Thylacoleo, as they were very agile. Some studies suggest that Thylacoleo may have had the ability to climb trees, similar to some current arboreal felines such as leopards. This ability would have allowed them to stalk from an elevated position and suddenly attack their prey from above, using surprise to its advantage. Once close to its prey, the Thylacoleo used its retractable claws, which were exceptionally large and sharp, to grasp and tear. These claws allowed them to immobilize their victims quickly. Their bite was mighty, considered one of the strongest in body size among known mammals. Their cutting incisors were designed to pierce and tear flesh, ensuring a quick fill for their prey. In addition, their territorial behavior and willingness to hunt large prey made any human who entered their territory a potential victim. The Thylacoleo epitomizes early humans' challenges on a continent filled with unique and imposing predators. But if in the past Australia was full of predators who only wanted to devour humans, how did our ancestors survive? The answer is that fortunately, other animals were much more vulnerable than humans and were herbivores. The herbivores of ancient Australia. In ancient Australia, two animals helped humans not to be the only prey for large predators. The first of them was the Diprotodon. This is the largest known marsupial to have ever inhabited the earth. It belongs to the family Diprotodontia, which includes modern wombats and koalas. This herbivorous colossus lived in Australia during the Pleistocene, approximately between 1.6 million and 46,000 years ago, sharing its environment with the first humans to arrive on the continent. Diprotodon is a distinct relative of wombats and koalas, albeit on a much larger scale. Like them, it was an herbivore and probably had similar social habits, living in small groups and migrating in search of food. Its elongated skull and teeth adapted for chewing vegetation resemble those of today's wombats. Diprotodon could reach a length of 13 feet, a height of 6.5 feet, and a weight of up to 5,511 pounds, making it a functional equivalent to modern rhinos in size and weight. Its stocky body was covered in thick hair, and its short, muscular limbs were ideal for supporting its enormous weight while grazing or migrating long distances. Diprotodon fed mainly on leaves, grasses, and shrubs, adapting to the dry, wooded landscape of Pleistocene Australia. Fortunately, this imposing animal was not a hunter or a predator. Thus, it was the preferred prey of large predators and was even hunted by humans. There was also Genyornis newton. It is one of the giant, flightless birds that inhabited Australia during the Pleistocene until its extinction approximately 50,000 years ago. This bird belongs to the family Dromaeonorthidae, a group of giant birds endemic to Australia, known for their imposing size and specialization in terrestrial habitats. Although it has no direct living relatives, Genyornis shared some similarities with modern ostriches and emus. Like them, it was a flightless bird with strong legs, designed to walk long distances. However, the Genyornis was much larger and more robust, with a heavy body that distinguished it from today's birds. The Genyornis reached a height of 6 feet and could weigh about 440 to 551 pounds. It had a massive body, muscular legs, and a large head with a broad, curved beak, adapted for crushing food. Their appearance resembled terror birds with a mainly herbivorous diet. These two animals were the main prey of large predators such as the Quinkana or Megalania. Thanks to this, humans were not so pressured, and in one way or another they managed to survive a time when the animals of Australia were dangerous and giants. Now we want to hear your opinion. Tell us, what do you think of the wildlife of ancient Australia? Would you like to have lived in this era?